that one of the things that you mentioned has no cost, no financial cost, and that is volunteerism.
That's right.
Let's speak to that, because I think both of you are with organizations that require volunteers. Let's talk about that, Mr. King. What are some of the availability, some of the needs that you have at Bethlehem Centers in terms of volunteers?
Well, we need volunteers in all areas. We have a hot lunch program where we feed something like 80 senior citizens a day. We need volunteer drivers for that. We need help as far as the cooking of the food that we feed these people, these senior citizens with. We have need for people to come in and help tutor our kids in our tutoring program. There's a lot of mailings and postage stamps to be licked and things to be typed, and we need volunteers to help make that run smooth.
Just a whole array of people, and any person who has any kind of skill or anything to offer.
Sure.
And more than anything, you need service, people who are willing to give self more than anything. Very good. Okay, we've got about a few more minutes here to talk about some of these areas that the two of you are involved in. But now, when you move from the sort of private level that the two of you are involved in, and you had to sort of take the programs that you're dealing with national, and of course we recognize that 100 Black Men of Middle Tennessee is a chapter of many other organizations, and et cetera. But when you talk about dealing with it on a national level, what could you say to the government this morning when they start thinking in terms of dealing with the welfare question and that kind of thing? I mean, what is needed this morning? What do we need as a society this morning?
Well, one thing, I think that the Head Start programs should be enhanced, increased. Head Start should start by identifying that particular segment of society that are qualified for that, to start with those young ladies as well as men before these children are born, to begin to teach them parenting skills. I think that there should be possibly some national legislation where all schools in this country, high schools in this country that have identified both male and female who have children that are in the schools, that they take parenting classes from up until the time they graduate from high school.
And of course, that is a real problem in terms of the ability of these young children to take care of their children. You think that it could be possible to attack that from a national point of view?
It's a start. It's a start. Of course, I think that the churches should be more innovative, become more innovative in the things that they do, as far as the communities they serve. And as James said, we need, as a community, need to become more aware and become more volunteerism as far as the way we do things. We need to start believing that we can give out a help. One thing about the Men of Distinction program is that we do push volunteerism in our program. When the program first got started, Hurricane Hugo hit, and I had one of the young men one day to ask me, well, what can we do? So we went sit down in our peer group council meeting, and we planned. So what we ended up doing, we had $4,000 in building supplies, clothing, food, water. We did this in a collaboration with the African American Cultural Alliance, Kwame Lillard's group, and we took about 25 boys to Charleston, South Carolina, to help in the volunteering to help those people down there. Because even though you're in this condition, you still can help. Sure, you still can help.
Still more blessed to give than to receive, and you found that, and that's one of the examples that you have. And I would imagine, Mr. Thrillkill, there are some positive things that you can say in reference to some of the things that your 100 Black Men of Middle Tennessee have been involved in. And I do know that you have long had a reputation of working with many of our young people dealing with the drug situation, the drug problems. Why don't you say something to that, and perhaps speak to some of these young people that you've been working with, because we do understand that there's an increase in the use of illicit drugs among our young people, and et cetera, and we have to really fight the battle all over again. And I think it would be best to simply start fighting it again this morning. Why don't you say something in reference to that?
The thing I would say to our young people is to understand that there's a lot of danger associated with that kind of activity. Although there's a lot of fast money that's made, you're living with a constant threat against your life, and you're providing detrimental materials not only to your own body, but to your community as well. It's more important to develop your skills and to be involved in an employment program that's going to provide legitimate income, but also provide opportunities for your community, and you're not making money off the destruction of your community. And I think that's very important for our youth to understand that there's really no quick scheme as far as making money. It has to be earned through hard work, determination, and growth that is beneficial not only to yourself but to your community as well. And don't believe the images that come through the media that say that our youth are the only ones involved in that activity, because they're not bringing the drugs over to this community.
And of course, both of you would simply encourage young people to do the best they can no matter where they came from, because I think that both of you represent really what is called upward mobility in this country in a real sense. And I think that you would also say that they ought to try to emulate the two of you as role models.
And take a full advantage of their education, because that's something no one can take from them.
Very good.
You know, one thing, Dr. Haney, I went to a totally segregated school system when I was in Nashville. And one thing that always came through every day, 365 days a year, that you have to excel and that you have to do things 10 times better than. And that's one thing that these kids are not hearing now, that you need to just, yes, you have problems out there, there's racism there, but you have to excel despite of that fact. And you can do it. I mean, we've got examples of it each and every day. It's just, we just have to be a better teacher and caller to make these kids believe that they can do it despite of.
In other words, that's what greatness is all about, the ability to be able to overcome challenges, whether they are sexism, racism, or whatever it is. And those persons who can really overcome challenges are the people in our society that we believe to be great. And let me thank both of you for coming by and giving us that excellent information in reference to how to mentor African-American males. And I'm sure that the 100 black men of Middle Tennessee, as well as the men of distinction, will continue to play a very, very important role in helping to meet some of the challenges. And I'm sure that if some of our audience has any thing that they can give in terms of support for these programs, whether it's through volunteerism or financial support or whatever, that they will do so. And let me thank both of y'all for coming by this morning and giving us that information. And let me encourage